This coffee cake is super easy and fast to make. You could almost make it before your morning coffee. Coffee? Did somebody say coffee? We all have one of those special friends.
That feels so much better.
Anyway, preheat your oven to 375 and let's get baking. Start with sifting together 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Give that a little mix around and sift it all together. Sifting gets out all the lumps and adds air. And it makes a finer crumb in our cake. All right, and set it aside for a moment. Now in your main bowl, take a 1/4 cup of butter and 3/4 of a cup of sugar and cream those together. Your butter should be at room temperature. And add 1 egg, which is also at room temperature. And with any cake using the creaming method, which is what this is, you alternate in the dry and the wet ingredients, starting with the dry and ending with the dry. And you add it in about 1/3 at a time. And so I don't overbeat the batter, I'm going to finish this up by hand. Here's a little trick to clear your beaters. If you beat your batter, say that 10 times fast. If you beat your batter too much, you'll overmix it and gluten will form, and your cake will turn out chewy like bread. 2 cups. Oh, let's just put the rest in. They don't want to be left out anyway. So fold in your blueberries. You don't have to pre-coat them with flour or anything. They're not going to fall to the bottom. Trust me on this. You'll see. Like my straw? And then take a 9-inch springform pan and spray it with baking spray with flour. Now, before we pour it into the pan, we're going to make the streusel topping, and you can use your same sifting bowl and a pastry cutter. You can get these at any grocery store. So you just take 1/2 cup of light brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of cardamon, my favorite. Mix that all together and add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter straight out of the refrigerator because you want the crumbly effect. And then add in 1/2 cup of chopped pecans or walnuts and pour it right on in. The batter really is thick and it'll self-level some in the oven, but I'm just going to help it out with an offset spatula. And then sprinkle the delicious streusel topping on top, nice and thick. It's going to get real crunchy as it bakes. And bake for 45 to 50 minutes. Until a toothpick comes out clean. It's kind of hard to do in a cup. And if the streusel topping starts to get a little too brown too quick, put an aluminum foil tint on top. And that'll carry it all the way to the end. So what do you call a decaf coffee? A depresso. What's black and white and never works? Decaffeinated coffee! What's the difference between decaffeinated coffee and regular coffee? Decaf is facing backwards. Think about that. And let it cool in the pan for 15 minutes. And look how light and fluffy this came out. I hope you had a fun time. If you did, give it a like, thumbs up, and don't forget to boop that bell.